Good morning, all. Either don't do it or do it with a devotion, nothing in between. With this note, I welcome you all for the AICT sponsored short term training program on electrical vehicle technology. Today, we are having the eminent speaker, Dr. Dharma Prakash, Professor, Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Panimalar Institute of Technology. He did his undergraduation in Electrical and Electronics Engineering and post graduation in Power Electronics and Drives. He did PhD in sliding mode controller for direct torque control of multi-level inverter fed induction motor drive. He has around 20 years of experience in teaching for the undergraduate and postgraduate student in electrical and electronics engineering specialization. He has around 20 years of experience in various positions in academic and administrative. He has more than 12 years of experience in the research in the field of power electronics and drives. He has more than 15 years of experience in NBA and NAC process. He is a proficient in prioritizing and completing tasks in timely manner. He is highly competent in assessing and evaluating the student's performance and implementing a need-based plan to address the weaker areas. He published more than 10 papers in the Scopus journals and published many papers in national and international conferences. With this few words of introduction, I request Dr. Dharma Prakash to take over the session. Please, sir.
Thank you, Jones. All of you, good morning. All of you, welcome to this AICT sponsored HTTP on vehicle, electric vehicle technology, organized by Panimalar Institute of Technology. Today's topic is the future trends in Indian mobility. Actually, so far, already so many speakers may give the idea about what is the basic electrical vehicle, what are the types, and what are the components of these electrical vehicles, and separately, like what are the batteries which we are using in electrical vehicles, and then what are the charging techniques, and then what are the motors used in this. Like this, already we have discussed, but we have to understand what is the future trends in Indian mobility, then only we can go into the market. Okay, so here it is the future trends in Indian mobility, which includes the electrical vehicles and the non-electrical vehicles. Okay, because it is only dealing with the mobility. Anyhow, in detail, we are going to see about the electric vehicles which are coming to be to the Indian roads in the future, right? So for this, we are considering some 5 points on this. We are going to discuss the future trends in Indian mobility. Okay. So here, the introduction. The National Mission on Electrical Mobility is promoting the electrical mobility in the country. Okay. So the Department of Heavy Industries have introduced the faster adaptation and manufacturing of hybrid and electrical vehicles in India. That is the FAME scheme. The FAME scheme is introduced in India. Now it is moved into phase two. Already phase one is completed. I think it is on 18, and after that the phase two is launched. Now it is going on. Through this mission, the government hopes to have a cumulative fuel saving of 9,500 million liters by extending support to the electric vehicles market development. So that by seeing this 9,500 million liters per year, that is how much pollution we are going to reduce. That is the main thing here we are going to have, right? So the government of India is promoting the clean automobile technology in the country. While in phase one of FAME was focused upon the creating a place for electrical vehicles in Indian automobile space. Okay, that is slowly they are going to develop the electric vehicle automobiles in this in India. Okay, in FAME two lays the emphasis on giving an impetus to electric vehicles in public transport, encourage greater adaptation of EVs and create charging infrastructure and push for R&D in the technology. So first, the basic fundamentals are laid down in phase one of the FAME scheme, and the phase two is encouraging the drastic increase of this electric vehicle technology by increasing the implementing this electrical vehicles in public transport system and passenger car and creating the charging infrastructure. That is, without charging infrastructure, it cannot be succeeded. Okay, so that they are planning to increase more number of charging infrastructure, and the R&D is very much important to develop the energy efficient and the other things. Okay. Since the inception of the scheme, the government has given the financial support about 2,61,507 vehicles. Okay, still it is going on. The electric buses were added to this scheme as a part of modernization the public transport system. So for DHA, that is the Department of Heavy Industries, have sanctioned 455 electric buses for 9 cities. Okay, it is around 2018 data. Okay, now in this session, we are going to analyze how India's automobile industry is recreating itself as per the existing government policies and the current market dynamics. Later, we are also going to discuss about the existing government policies, that is for electric vehicles. Okay. India's EV market scenario and future outlook with a special focus on the key government policies. This session goes on to explore the future trends in public transportation, including intelligent transportation system, alternative fuels in public transport, effective traffic management and safety, future mobility, like this. Okay. So the main 5 points which we are going to elaborately discuss here is the Indian automotive industry and the electrifying the future. That is, which is dealing with the electric vehicles and India's EV market, electric vehicle market, how it is developing, and the shared and connected mobility in India. It is common for the normal that is normal vehicles and the electrical vehicles. That is using the cab with shared manner and connecting mobility. That is from the place where you start and where you are ending. Okay. Like this, we are going to discuss and the future plans in public transportation. So, main thing we have to emphasize on this electrifying the future of this electric vehicles and Indian EV market. And all. Okay. So first we'll take this Indian automotive industry. So here we know that in India the automobile sector is very large. It is the fourth largest industry in the world with the production increasing to 5.17 billion units in 2018, inclusive of passenger cars and commercial vehicles. The country is also prominent auto exporter and has growth expectation for the future. The automobile exports grew 15 more than 15% during 2018. In 1819, overall automobile exports is grew by 14.5%, with the passenger car exports registering a decline of minus 9.64%. While commercial vehicles, three-wheeler, two-wheeler, registering the growth of 3.17, 49%. That is mainly the three-wheelers export is very much increasing around 50%, and two-wheelers is around 16.5% respectively. So the major advantages, the parameters which are giving the advantages for the India are the growing demand. In India, the rise in middle class income and the young population may result in the strong growth for the automotive. It is the common growth for electric vehicles as well as the non-electrical vehicle. Anyhow, we are going to promote the electric vehicles so that the demand for the electrical vehicles will grow with the rise in the middle class income and the young population may result in the strong growth. And the policy support, the government is uh, approving some electric vehicles policy, which is giving the support for developing the electric vehicles. The government aims to develop the India as a global manufacturing center. Okay, global manufacturing center. The government has also come up with the reforms like the GST to boost the growth in this sector. Okay. Not only this, India is framing the electric vehicle policy to improve the electric vehicle markets, like FAME 2 project, FAME 1 and 2 projects are going on. And apart from this, also various departments like Department of Power and not only the transport department, all the departments are also giving the importance for electric vehicles like renewable energy department like this. Okay. And the opportunities in this field is India is expected to become a leader in shared mobility of by 2030, providing opportunities for electric and autonomous vehicles. and now it is shifting focus towards the electric cars. It also provides the huge opportunities in this sector. And the policy decision of this Indian government is taken, it is allowing the FDI, that is foreign direct investment inflow in the automobile sector up to 19.29 billion between April 2000 to 2018. So continuously it is increasing. Now also there is a lot of automobile manufacturers like Tesla and all coming into India to invest very huge amount. India also has a significant cost advantage that impacts the investment in this area. And India is witnessing sustainable economic growth on backdrop of various factors such as strong economic expansion, socio-cultural transformation, strong demographic dividends, growing urbanization. India is the seventh largest country by the area, the second most populous country in the world with over 1.3 billion, that is 1.4 billion people. So the Indian economy here depends upon these factors. There is it is having highest population, second highest population, and the investment the climate it is on the 55th rank, and it is a member of that is the G20 association, and it is having a GDP growth of more than 7%, and the internet users are very high. That is in 2018 it's 550, now it crosses more than another 100 million, and it is having the second largest market for consuming households and double-digit growth in the export and import. Due to Corona, it may be somewhat different. So it is the statistics which are given before Corona. The automobile protection comprising already we had discussed. There is here the passenger car vehicle protection is increased from 4.78 million units to 5.17 millions. Okay. So here the growth is due to several initiatives by the government and the major automobile players in the market. Moreover, the automobile sales increased from 3.67 million units in 2017 to 4.02 million units in 2018. That is 9.49% growth. That is production is 4.78 and sales is 3.67 in 2017, and 18 to production is 5.17 million, sales is 4.02 million units in 2008. The investment, the recent planned investments and developments in Indian automotive industries. So here some of the investments, which huge investment which are happening in the Indian automotive industry. There is Ashok Leyland was planned a capital expenditure of 1,000 crores to launch 20 to 25 new models across various commercial vehicles categories during 2018-19. So they are investing 1,000 crores. So they are going to launch 20 to 25 models of commercial vehicles. Commercial vehicles. The commercial vehicles, it may be the two-wheeler or four-wheeler, whatever it may be. It's not the passenger only to carry the that is goods and all. Okay. Hyundai is planning to invest 1 billion US dollars in India by 2020. That is last year actually. So here SAIC Motor has also announced to invest 310 million US dollars. So these are the investments, that is planned investment in India. And even Mercedes-Benz has increased the manufacturing capacity of its Chakan plant to 20,000 units per year, highest for any luxury car manufacturing in India. In November 2018, Mahindra Electric Mobility opened its electric technology manufacturing hub in Bangalore with an investment of 100 crores, which will increase its annual manufacturing capacity to 25,000 units. So here these are the places where the OEM, that is OEM means the original equipment manufacturers like BMW and all, Honda, Ford, Hyundai, Mahindra, Maruti Suzuki, Renault, like this. So these are the places where these industries are located. Okay? And the production level also is mentioned. So the first one, Maruti Suzuki. This company was formerly known as Maruti Udyog Limited and changed its name to Maruti Suzuki India Limited in 2007. This company was founded in 1981 and is headquartered in New Delhi. The Maruti Suzuki India Limited is a subsidiary of Suzuki Motor Corporation. The company designs, manufactures, and sells a range of automotive vehicles. Okay. The company offers passenger cars, utility vehicles, SUVs, and MUV, along with the related parts and accessories. Okay. Why we need to understand about these companies? Here, we have to know the potential of these companies, how much they are investing and how large it is, so that when they are moving into electric vehicles, you can understand what are the opportunities. Okay, so that was giving all these points. And Hyundai Motors, Hyundai is a Korea-based company engaged in manufacture and distribution of automobile and automobile parts. The company operates through three segments, namely vehicle finance and others. The company offers hybrid vehicles under the vehicle segment. The original equipment manufacturer offers vehicle under brands names such as Genesis, Tucson, Equus, Veloster, like this. So they are giving various models. Tata Motors, it is the oldest company. It is founded in 1945 and it is headquartered at Mumbai. The Tata Motors designs, manufactures, and sells a range of automotive vehicles. The company offers passenger cars, utility vehicles, SUVs, LCVs, comprising pickup trucks, small commercial vehicles, and medium and heavy commercial vehicles, consist of trucks, tractors, buses, tippers, multi-axle vehicles, dump trucks, truck trailers, mixers, and cargo vehicles, along with related parts and accessories. So, in all these dimension, they may implement this electric vehicle technology, right? So here we are having a lot of opportunities. So not only a small cars and two-wheelers, they are also going to implement in all these multi-axle vehicles, dump trucks, tractors, trailers, mixture like this. Mahindra and Mahindra, it is a subsidiary company of Mahindra and Mahindra Limited. The company was founded 1994 and is based in Bangalore. Mahindra Electric Mobility Limited manufactures and markets fuel-free electric cars to customers in India and internationally. The company also offers a smartphone application that allows car users to get real-time data and updates to control a host of car features remotely. In addition, it licenses out its electric vehicle technology. Toyota Motor Corporation. The Toyota Motor Corporation is an automotive manufacturer established in 1937 in Aichi, Japan. Toyota operates in various segments such as automotive and financial services. The company automotive segments engages in design, manufacturing, assembly, and sales of passenger vehicles, minivans, and commercial vehicles. And then now we'll discuss about the government initiatives and foreign investments related to this automotive industry. The Government of India encourages foreign investment in automobile sector and allows 100% FTA under the automatic route. The recent initiatives taken out, the government aims to develop India as a global manufacturing sector and an R&D hub. Under NATRIP, that is the R&D division for National Automotive Technology. Okay? The Government of India is planning to set up R&D centers at a total cost of 388.5 million, that is around 3,500 crores, to enable the industry to be a par with the global standard. So it is an important initiative that is taken by the government because they are investing nearly 3,500 crores for only for R&D, developing the R&D centers across India. It is only for automotive industry. The Minister of Heavy Industries has shortlisted 11 cities in the country for introduction of electrical vehicles in their public transport system under FAME scheme. So in this 11 cities, they are going to give there is around that is per city. They are going to give around 100 or 200 or some buses, electric buses to these cities. Okay. The government will also set up a innovation center for startup working in electrical vehicle space. In February 2019, the Government of India approved the FAME 2 scheme with a fund requirement of 10,000 crores. So here, the Indian government is investing nearly 10,000 crores for FAME 2 scheme. In 2008, the global health is the next topic. We are entering into the next title, like electrifying the future automotive industry. In 2018, the global electric vehicle sales. That is, first of all, you have to understand what is the global market and Indian electric vehicle market. Okay. So in 2018, the global electric vehicle sales, which include B, that is battery electric vehicles, and PH EV and FC, that is fuel cell electric vehicles, crossed 2 million units, to which the final figure of 22 lakhs 18,490. That is around the 23 lakh. The increasing popularity of electric vehicles highlights the significant efforts made jointly by various governments and automotive industries. However, more than 70% of electric vehicle sales worldwide in 2018 were in the US, Japan, and China. So here we are very much lagging. That is, in 2018, only remaining 30% of the electric vehicle sales is in around the world. 70% is in US, Japan, and China. So they are in an advanced manner, going in a faster manner. The increasing population, pollution and the threat for global warming have accelerated the need to replace petroleum-fueled vehicles with emission-free substitute. This is a more important thing. We have to reduce the global warming. Okay, that is the one of the thing which is accelerating the development of electric vehicles. After decades of R&D, the industry has found EVs to be the best suitable substitute for traditionally fueled vehicles, which has resulted in the emergence of electrical vehicles. The EV promotion efforts are increasing with continuous support from many governments, automotive OEM, and other government and non-government agencies that are not only promoting the sales of zero-emission vehicles, but also taking steps toward a favorable regulatory framework, charging infrastructure, and financial support. So here, the major steps are to the regulatory framework. That is the important thing, because we have to develop the standards and all for this electric vehicle. Then only it can the market will get increasing, and the charging infrastructure should be developed. That is, without charging infrastructure, nobody is ready to buy the electric vehicles. Wherever we are going, wherever the petrol bunks are available like this, we have to develop the charging infrastructure, and the timing for charging should be less. Okay, that kind of things it should be developed, and the financial support is also to be required. In addition, factors such as extended vehicle range and improved charging infrastructure have fueled the demand for EVs globally. Led by China, Asia Pacific has the highest sales of EVs. China is focusing on EVs to deal with the rising vehicle emission in the country. The Chinese government provides subsidies for electrification of vehicles, which in turn have increased the sales of EVs in China. The subsidies are offered for both pure electric vehicles and hybrid electric vehicles. For instance, the government subsidy include passenger car purchasing incentives of, that is, RMB is Chinese rupees 55,000 for battery electric vehicles and 30,000 for, that is, PHEVs. Over the years, the cost of batteries have reduced, which should again have a positive impact on the Chinese EV market. The Electric Vehicles Initiatives, a multi-government policy forum dedicated to accelerating the introduction and adoption of electric vehicles worldwide, has set a target of reaching an electric car fleet of 20 million by 2020 globally. The Paris Declaration on Electromobility and Climate Change has also set a similar global deployment target of 100 million electric cars by 2030. So it is one of the decisions taken in the Paris Declaration. The growth of a EV market is driven by the government funding, subsidies, and incentives, growing demand of EVs, increasing concern over environmental pollution and huge investment from automakers in EVs. So when we are considering the environmental pollution condition, we have to always think about the renewable energy sources for charging these EVs. Okay? However, factors such as high cost, smaller distance covered by EVs, and lack of standardization can restrain the market growth. So quickly we have to do that is remove all these negative factors. There is a cost to be reduced. That is in the long run, automatically the cost is going to be reduced, and the that is the mileage should be increased because the EVs are running for a smaller distance, but the high sophisticated vehicles like Tesla models and all, they run for more than 300 kilometers. That is in terms of miles, they are telling more than 200 miles. Okay, and here so that a small vehicles which is ranging only for 45 kilometers, 50 kilometers. So it is we have to increase this distance cover. Okay, and charging there is a lack of standardization, that is for charging there is each company is providing different standards. It is not easy to set up the charging infrastructure all over India. That is all over globe. Okay, so they have to maintain some standard. What is the voltage? What is the current requirement? What is the type of battery they are going to use? Like this, they have to standardize this. Then only the developing of charging infrastructure will be easy. Still, they are trying to standardize because Tesla is they are following its their own standard that quick charging is not possible for all the other vehicles. Okay, so like this, we have to develop the standards for this charging infrastructure. That is the important thing in this. And BYD Auto, that is China, Nissan, Japan, Tesla Motors, US, Volkswagen, Germany are some of the leading players in the electric vehicle models. These companies have launched EVs in different segments to cater to increased demands. The Tesla Model S, Nissan Leaf, and BYD Tang are some of the most successful models that have attracted the customers. Panasonic Corporation, Automotive Energy Supply Corporation, BYD Auto, and Samsung are some of the largest battery manufacturers that cater to the global demand. Electric cars. This vehicle segment is the most promising market for EVs as it is the largest segment in the automotive industry. The passenger car segment of EV market is growing at a significant rate in emerging economies of Asia Pacific region. The market growth in the region can be attributed to a rise in the GDP and population improvement in lifestyle, increased purchasing power of consumers, and development of infrastructure. The passenger cars account for the largest share of the electric vehicle market. The demand for passenger cars has increased due to the increase in the demand for EVs. The countries such as China have a low waiting period for EVs as compared to IC vehicles, that is internal combustion engine vehicles. Due to the growing stringency in emission norms, European countries such as Germany plan to have 1 million electric vehicles on the road by 2020. China dominates the market for passenger electric cars, followed by US. So here you can see this global electric vehicle market. Okay. So here it is the annual growth rate is around 36.6%. It is a very huge percentage. And that is the annual growth rate. Generally, they are expecting around 9% like that. But this electric vehicle market is drastically increasing. So here the annual growth rate is 36.6%. So you can see this expected things in 2019 is 3.15 million units, but in 2025, within 6 years, this requires a 12.03 million units. Currently, EV constitute less than 1% of all the vehicles sold in India. So you imagine the Indian market developments towards electrification. Okay, so here you think about the Indian electric vehicle market in the overall automobiles which are used in India is only the petroleum vehicles. Okay, petrol and diesel vehicles. But here only 1% now which are selling in India. So remaining 99% are only the IC engines, normal non-electric vehicles. So we are having a huge market, that is a demand going to be increased in future years, because already we know that the that is due to the environmental requirements, that is like global warming, and the demand for fuels, that is petroleum, is continuously increasing, so that everybody wants to move to electric vehicles. Okay, so here only 1% of sales is in electric vehicles. So drastically it is going to boom in the future years. There are more than 44 lakhs units of electric two-wheelers and only a few thousands of electric cars are on Indian roads. According to Society of Manufacturers of Electrical Vehicles, more than 95% of electric vehicles in India are low-speed electric scooters. That is, you can see the speed, it is only around 25 kilometers per hour, which do not require registration and license. The manufacturers are waiting for the government to clear regulatory hurdles and come up with a clear stance on infrastructure development for electric vehicles. In 2017, December 2017, the government announced an investment of 64.1 million in FAME 1 scheme initiative for launching electric buses, taxis, and three-wheelers in 11 Indian cities. This initiative will boost the rate of EV adoption in India in the coming years. Moreover, in January 2019, under FAME 2 mission, the India government allotted 350 crores for investment in research and innovation of three major components. The transportation ministry and authorities in India should proactively increase the incentive-based mandate for EVs in the country by relevant stakeholders, that is OEMs, Tier 1 players, and technology solution providers, similar to the emission norms mandate. This would build confidence in automotive OEMs and Tier 1 players in the country to invest appropriately in the required infrastructure and technology for these vehicles. In India, no OEM is ready to make huge investment in electric vehicles like Tesla does in US. That is, Tesla have done the huge investment in the US. A Tesla-like ecosystem needs to be created in India by Indian manufacturers. The government needs to entertain OEMs and component manufacturers to create an ecosystem to make products for India. The government should provide subsidies for OEMs to create extensive charging infrastructure across India. This will encourage more consumers to buy an EVs. The government should the government should also create alternative ways to generate electricity for fueling EVs, since electricity for vehicle is only as clean as the fuel that were used to produce. The US produces 66% of electricity from fossil fuel, Germany 50%, and India is almost 60%. We cannot use thermal or fossil fuels to provide electricity to power EVs. So that is because it is also going to affect the environment. So that we have to cautious when we are charging the electric vehicles. We have to try to charge the electric vehicles from the renewable energy sources. Okay. It can cause more damage to the environment. Electricity for electric vehicles should be generated using renewable sources like biogas, solar power, etc. The government should take initiatives for creating more renewable energy sources across the country. In India, R&D of EVs is quite low because of fewer resources with knowledge on EV concept. So that this knowledge should be transferred to all over India in the required manner. Okay. The government of various states in India should create courses on EVs in colleges. These resources can be used for R&D in manufacturing unit, while it will boost the EV R&D in India. That is, higher studies in electrical vehicles like this we have to develop. So it is the original energy, that is equipment manufacturer transition towards clean vehicles in India. So here, that is at the last, we are having this Audi, Ford, Tesla, like this. These are the companies which are moving towards the clean vehicles in India. And major EV markets. So here the EV market, major EV markets are China, and then in China, why we are having a good market because of these subsidies and tax rebates in China. And the second major EV market is US after China. So we will see now. So China is considered as a global leader in the sales of EVs. In China, electric vehicles are known as new energy vehicles. BAIC EC series where Zido D2 EV were the top selling EVs in the China. BYD is a market leader in China in terms of sales, followed by Lake. In a short span of time, China has emerged as a powerhouse in the EV market. Attracted by government subsidies on EVs, more than 200 companies plan to manufacture and sell electric cars in China. So imagine how many manufacturers are in China. That is more than 200 companies. They are going to manufacture electric vehicles in China. So quickly they will develop and they will capture all the electric vehicle market all over the world. According to Fitch, a leading rating agency, EV subsidies offered in China are the second best in the world after Norway. Another initiative known as Preferential Vehicle Licensing System helps EV buyers in China get license plates for free and without waiting. Without waiting. Moreover, the country's national grid is increasing investment in EV charging station infrastructure and is expected to spend approximately 2.4 billion USD by 2020 to further improve the EV charging station infrastructure. Here you can imagine that the grid itself, that is the national grid itself, they are planning to invest 2.4 billion for charging infrastructure, charging station infrastructure. Here only the private players are working on developing the charging station infrastructure, right? The favorable business environmental policies such as Made in China 2025 are also helping startups to enter the Chinese EV market. Here also we are having some schemes like Made in India, like this. Make in India, Made in India schemes are there in India. In China, for instance, in 2017 December, the Chinese EV startup announced that the company would start the production of its seven-seater SUV electric car, Iconic 7, in 2019. Another startup, NIO, backed by Tencent, Beidou, and Xiaomi, launched its seven-seater EV ES8 in December 2017. Here you can see this Xiaomi. It is only the data company, that is a mobile manufacturing company. They are going to provide the software solutions for this communication solution for this car. The price of vehicle is about half of Tesla's Model S. So here only the price is very only 50%, so that the sales will be increased. And the subsidies and tax rebates in China, already we discussed this. They are giving the subsidies. It is not granted to the end customer directly, but are forwarded to the automakers who then pass on this benefit to the consumers. That is, US. The US is estimated to hold the largest share in the North American EV market. The US automotive industry is inclined toward innovation, technology, and development of safe and comfortable automobiles. The increasing production of EVs such as BEV, PHEV, and HEV is expected to drive the market for EV infrastructure in the country. The EV manufacturing companies such as Tesla, GM, and Nissan have major presence in this country. Additionally, major providers of EV charging infrastructure such as Car Charging Group and Charging Point. So here, Car Charging Group is one of the that is a charging infrastructure that is developed all over the US. Okay, and that is like petrol bunk, but that is Bharat Petroleum petrol bunk. We are seeing all over the India. Like this, they are that is car charging group. Charging infrastructure is available all over here, and similarly, the charge point is also another competitor for this car charging group. Battery manufacturers also plan to expand their presence in the US. The EV charging station market in the US is growing steadily. The increasing investment by automotive manufacturers and support from government bodies have led to the development of EV charging station infrastructure in the US. So, government agencies and automotive manufacturing companies are working together to increase the adoption of electric vehicles in the US to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases. It is electric vehicle ecosystem. So here, basically, you have already. I think you are familiar with this electric vehicle ecosystem. So generally, these electric vehicles by type we can classify into passenger cars, LCVs, and the buses, the bikes like this. We can classify by means of components. We can classify into there is a fuel cell. There is a fuel supply. This through fuel cell, battery. Like this, we can battery can be further classified into there is a battery instead of battery you can use it is alpha capacitor or a lead acid battery, lithium battery, and a nickel metal hybrid batteries. And we need the converters like a DC-DC converter and motor controllers like automatic motor controller or microcontroller based motor controller or manual motor controller. And the electric motors, it may be AC or DC. In case of here, we are having synchronous motor, induction motor, and DC series motor, shunt motor, BLDC motor. Like this, we are having various types of motors which are used in this. And by propulsion type, we can classify this into FCEV, that is fuel cell electric vehicle, and a hybrid electric vehicle, and battery electric vehicle. In hybrid, we can make it as a plug-in hybrid, fuel hybrid, and mild hybrid, and micro hybrid. And fuel cell based here, it is the fuel cell stacks. That is the components of fuel cell is a fuel cell stack, battery pack, and a power coordinator, fuel tank, and all. And by charging infrastructure, it can be classified into supercharging station and slow charging station, fast charging station, and wireless charging station. These are the types of charging stations of EVs. So these are the components which are involved in electric vehicle ecosystem. So the research and development can be done in any one point of this. And next, leading global EV original equipment manufacturer. The first one is the Tesla, which is founded in 2003, headquartered in California, US. The company had about 37,543 employees across the world in 2017. Now it is still increased. Tesla manufactures premium EVs. Tesla Roadster was the first EV launched in 2018, followed by the Model S and many others. While the company has presence in almost every part of the world, the major part of the revenue is generated from US. The company inaugurated its Gigafactory at Nevada, US in 2016 to accelerate growth by producing batteries as per demand. Tesla plans to launch four more EVs, including BEV and PHEVs by 21. Next one is the Nissan Motor. Nissan Motor is headquartered in Yokohama, Japan. It is a leading manufacturer of vehicles under Nissan, Infiniti, and Datsun brands worldwide. It was founded in 1933. The company offers vehicles and vehicle parts, engine, manual transmission, special equipped vehicles, industry equipment engines, and so on. In addition, company also manufacturing electric vehicles. BYD Auto is one of the few companies that specialize in the manufacturing of commercial EVs. It was established in 95 at Sichuan, China. The company operates in three core business segments: automobile, handset, and assembly service, and rechargeable battery and photovoltaics. BYD specializes in the manufacturing, design, assembly of wide range of products. The company has presence in several regions including China, US, Europe, and India. Next one is the BMW. It is a global automotive Mobile Manufacturing Group in headquartered in Munich, Germany, and was founded in 1960. Company is leading manufacturer of luxury cars. The group company comprises brands such as BMW in Germany, Mini UK, and Rolls-Royce UK. Company operates through four business segments: automotive, financial services, motorcycles, and other entities. Under the automotive segment, the company offers sedans and SUVs. The company also offers PHEVs like BMW i3 and BMW i8. These are the electric vehicles. It is having a strong presence in Europe, Asia Pacific, and North America. Volkswagen is a well-established automotive manufacturer founded in 1937 and is headquartered in Würzburg, Germany. The company produces cars under 12 different brands, including Volkswagen passenger cars, that is Audi, Seat, Skoda, Bentley, Bugatti, Lamborghini, Porsche, Bugatti, Volkswagen commercial vehicles, Scania, and MAN. The company sells sedans, minicars, SUVs, luxury cars, supercars, and commercial vehicles. In addition, the company also manufactures EVs. The company best-selling EVs are e-Golf and e-Ups. Stringent emission norms have forced automotive OEMs to introduce new and advanced electric vehicles. There is ongoing favorable government policies and grants incentives for EVs. Okay. So here, the stringent emission norms have forced automotive OEMs to introduce new and advanced electric vehicles. In the recent past, the number of EVs has increased tremendously, accentuating the need to make rules and regulation for a smooth transition. With increasing concern over environmental degradation like global warming, countries around the world, such as US, Canada, and European countries, have started adhering to strict emission norms to help cut emission of CO2 and NOx, nitrogen oxide. The regulation on CO2 emission are being tightened around the world, forcing many automakers to increase the production of EVs. In addition, several governments are providing incentives and tax exemptions to promote EVs. Apart from North America and Europe, Asian countries such as China and Japan are also promoting the use of EVs. While EVs are emission free, the battery has a limited life. Also, these batteries are hazardous to the environment. Therefore, keeping environmental factors in mind, governments are enforcing strict regulation to tackle this issue. North American and European countries plan to introduce an incentive structure for used vehicle batteries. Favorable government policies and subsidies will boost the electric vehicle market. However, stringent rules for the installation of charging stations and the high-cost EVs pose a challenge to growth of this market. So market dynamics, that is what are the parameters which is going to decide the electric vehicle market. The market drivers, that is which is going to boost this electric vehicle market is the favorable government policies and subsidies, and the heavy investment by automakers in EV technology, and growing concern about environmental pollution, and increased vehicle range per charge. So these are the major drivers which are going to boost the electric vehicle market, right? And restraints, that is the lack of standardization of charging standard. That is, charging infrastructure standards should be created by the governments. Okay, then that should be at a global standard, and that should be maintained all over the world. Then only they can develop the charging infrastructure all over the world. And growing concern over the disposal of drained EV batteries. So imagine now itself, even for your 1% of electric vehicles, there is a lot of used batteries. So it is also hazardous for the environment. So disposing of these batteries is very difficult. So imagine all over the world, all the vehicles are converted into electric vehicles. Then what will happen? How much used batteries will be there? How we are going to dispose this drained batteries? That is the major concern when we are dealing with this. Okay, so it is one of the negative points which is uh, not allowing the in, allowing the market increase of the IEVs. Next, the opportunities. Use of vehicles to grid. EV charging station for electric vehicles. That is vehicle to grid means whenever we are not using the vehicle, At the time, the power which is stored in the energy can be transferred to the grid, and whenever you want, you can charge the power from the grid. So there is the use of vehicle to grid EV charging stations. EV charging section stations powered by solar panels. That is the main opportunity here. And fuel cell vehicles. Hydrogen-based fuel cell vehicles may be another one opportunity. And challenges in this are the high cost of EVs compared to IC vehicles. That is initially always all the new things will be very costly, and later on it is going to reduce, but it will take some time. So here initially the high cost of EVs compared to ICE vehicles, and stringent rules for installation of charging stations. So that is the requirement, and limited distance covered. That is the mileage of these electric vehicles. That is per kilometers per charge. Okay, it is very low, so it should be increased. And then the high battery cost. That is whenever the battery is entirely drained. That is after that is 2 or 3 years. After that we have to change the new battery. So whenever we are changing this battery, it costs more. That is more than that is nearly equal to the petroleum cost like that. Okay, so it is one of the negative thing in this. And decrease in battery prices, advancement in technology would help decrease the cost of the electric vehicles. The cost of EV varies with the cost of battery in these vehicles. In recent times, the battery cost has reduced significantly. In 2010, the battery cost was approximately 1000 USD per kilowatt hour, which has now come down to 450 per kilowatt. Still, actually, in 2020, it comes around nearly 150 or 200 USD per kilowatt hour. This reduction in battery cost is likely to drive the mass production of EVs in the near future. Decreasing. So here you can see this. Here you can see this the cost of the battery. So here it is battery pack price real dollars per kilowatt hour. Okay. So here in 2010, it is around 1,183. That is $1,200 per 1 kilowatt hour. But here now in 2019, it comes around 150. So imagine what is the drastic reduction of this cost of the battery. Okay, prices of the batteries continuously it is going down. Anyhow, later it may be sustained at $100 per kilowatt. Okay. But best practices for EV growth employed by major markets. The major markets of EVs include China, the US, and Japan. The US is estimated to hold the largest share in the North America. The battery manufacturers also plan to expand their presence in the country. Thus, the best practices employed are government incentives for both EVs and charging infrastructures, which will uplift the market for EVs in the near future. A growing demand for EVs in various parts of the world is expected to increase the demand for charging station. As a result, the various governments are funding the development of charging station infrastructure and subsidizing the EV charging infrastructure. Significant advances in financial support from governments in the form of tax rebate subsidies and regulations to promote the eco-friendly vehicles have increased the adaptation of EVs. Enabling factor including charging infrastructure. In addition, the growing sensitivity of various governments toward a cleaner environment has increased the demand for zero-emission vehicles. These vehicles require installation of efficient charging infrastructure. The government policies India, the National Mission for Electric Mobility has launched the National Electric Mobility Mission Plan NEMP 2020 with the aim to invest 140 billion in the next 8 years for the development of electric infrastructure. Existing subsidies and tax structure in India, a new circular regarding the charging infrastructure has been announced by the Indian government in 2018, which stated that was a a de-licensed activity to set up the charging station, and electricity received from any company would be free of cost. The private charging stations are permitted at the residential places, and any charging station can get electric power from any company through open access protocol. So that it will improve the charging infrastructure in India. And global key developments. In March 19, Tesla unveiled V3 supercharging, the next step in the growth of Tesla's supercharger network. V3, which is born from Tesla experience of building the world's largest grid-connected batteries, enables its vehicle to charge faster than any other EVs in the market today. So that it is having a small charging time. Quickly it will charge and they can go. So that your customers may prefer Tesla vehicles. In July 2018, BYD, the world's largest battery electric bus manufacturer and EV company, joined the Charging Infrastructure Initiative with Charging EV as it works to establish global standards for charging battery electric vehicles. In April 2018, Schneider Electric, one of the leading global manufacturers of EV chargers, released wall-mounted chargers suitable for homes and business. The Schneider Electric EV Link Smart Wall Box comes in various ratings of electrical wattage output from 3.4 kilowatt to 22 kilowatt and can work on a single phase or three-phase electrical supply, offering significant advantages in recharging capacity compared to general power outlets. In 2018, ABB launched its newest EV charging solution, Terra HP, the first 350 kilowatt product in the market. Charging time for a range of 200 kilometers is just 8 minutes. So for charging 200 kilometers charge, it requires 8 minutes. Ideally suited for use at the highway, rest stops, and petrol station. Terra HP's ultra high current has capacity to charge both 400 volts and 18 volts car at full power. In December 2018, FAS developed a supercharger which set the new record in recharging EV batteries. It increased the range of Porsche Taycan by 100 kilometers in just 3 minutes. So here it is, 100 kilometers charged within 3 minutes. India current scenario for EV penetration and support by government. That is EV market, India's EV market. Next. So India's current scenario for EV penetration and support by government. The market of EV in India is expected to show rapid growth in the long term. Rapid growth in the long term. The e-mobility industry in India is developing at pace with support from the government and manufacturers such as Mahindra and Tata. The government of India is supporting the development of electric infrastructure with various plans. So it is investing 140 billions in the next 8 years for the development of electric charging infrastructure. Government incentives and subsidies and initiatives from OEMs would help reduce the cost of EVs, which in turn would drive the demand for EVs in the Indian market. In September 2017, the Indian government decided to buy 10,000 electric cars from Tata Motors to replace old petrol and diesel cars used by government agencies. Key developments are driving EVs. In September 2017, Maruti Suzuki announced their JV joint venture with Denso and Toshiba for establishing a lithium-ion battery manufacturing plant in Gujarat with a total investment of 1,700 crores. In early 2018, Maruti Suzuki announced that they have entered into a partnership with Toyota for the development of electric cars. So Maruti, Suzuki, and Toyota. Together, they aim to produce mainly as 35,000 electric cars annually in India during 2021. The company also announced in 2018 that they would invest about 14.5 billion in R&D, its highest ever spent toward the EV program. Suzuki Motorcycle India, the local two-wheeler subsidiary of Japanese automaker Suzuki Motor Corp, is planning to bring in electric two-wheelers to Indian market by 2020. Suzuki has set up a project team for 5 people and engaged KPMG to help devise EV solution. In 2018, Hyundai announced that it would launch the globally successful Kona SUV electric version into the Indian automotive market in 2019. The company also said that it was exploring if it can manufacture compact SUVs and sedan EVs in India. In 2018, Renault India announced that it had placed orders for electric motors and transmission with Ricoh Auto Industries and was working on developing EVs at their Chennai plant. In financial year 2019, the total EV sales reached a total of 7,59,000, and that is 7,60,000 units, which include electric two-wheelers 1,26,000, electric three-wheelers 6,30,000, and electric passenger vehicles 3,600. So here the electric three-wheelers are very huge, that is around 6.5 lakhs. Okay. The electric two-wheeler market witnessed a growth of 130%. The growth is due to the government announcement of FAME scheme. So EV sales, you can see this EV sales in India in year 2020, two-wheeler is around 1.5 lakhs, and in 19 two-wheeler is 1.25 lakhs. In 2018 it is around 55,000. So here in 18 to 19 it is nearly doubled, but in 2020 it is not doubled because of due to this corona and all. Otherwise it also increased. And three-wheelers, you can see this, it is around 6.3 lakhs. And passenger vehicles are gradually it is going on. It is around 3,500. Buses, here it is now increased to 600. So anyhow, all the government policies, as per the policies, every government is going to implement the government buses, electric vehicles in the government transport department. Supporting government policy, there is FAME 1 and FAME 2. These are FAME 1 and FAME 2. And Delhi electric vehicle policy, here the Delhi government, state government, electric vehicle policy 2018 is noticed by Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi. It will remain valid for 5 years from the date of notification. It is a new approach required to kickstart EV adaptation in Delhi. The primary objective of Delhi EV policy is to improve Delhi's air quality by lowering emissions from automotive and transportation sector. Thus, this policy will seek to drive rapid adaptation of battery electric vehicles. It is expected that these vehicles will contribute to 25% of all new vehicle registration by 2023. Emerging EV charging ecosystem. The electric vehicle market has witnessed rapid evaluation. The EV market has witnessed a rapid evolution with ongoing developments in charging infrastructure and technology. The technological advancement in EV charging and enhanced range of distance covered by EVs are some of the major factors driving the growth of EV market. If the charging infrastructure is easily available and the distance covered is large, then automatically the EV market will pick up. In addition, the growing sensitivity of various governments toward a cleaner environment has increased the demand for zero-emission vehicles. Emerging EV charging ecosystem. These vehicles require installation of efficient charging infrastructure. Public and private charging stations play a significant role in this scenario. A public charging station can charge up to 8x faster than a regular residential output, which means EV can be charged 100% in just 1 to 4 hours depending on the battery capacity. Here, the electric vehicle charging station market value in 19 it is only around 2.5 billion, but in 2027, that is after 8 years, this market will boom to 27.61 billion USD. So imagine the development of electric vehicles. It is the forecast after 8 years. It is the forecast at 2019. So now it is 21. So within 6 years, we are going to reach this electric vehicle charging infrastructure with the worth of $27.61 billion USD. Here, this annual growth rate will be around 35%. So energy EVs charging ecosystem, the use of renewable energy to power EV charging station is one of the key opportunity for players in EV charging market. Because of decreasing price and easy installation of solar panels, solar powered charging stations have become ideal for homeowners and commercial buildings. These charging stations can be installed at a residential building, shopping malls, theaters, conversion centers, parks, and other facilities. 10 solar panels can provide the electricity required to power an EV that can drive approximately 21,000 kilometers each year. So if you are having a 10 solar panel on your rooftop, you can drive the motor for 21,000 per year, 1,000 kilometers per year. With rapid advancement in solar panel innovation and design, companies have started developing solar powered charging stations to reduce dependency on fossil fuel. The increased EV sales has increased the demand for a charging infrastructure to recharge EVs. This has prompted EV manufacturers to integrate solar panels to charging station to improve the efficiency of electric supply. The growing demand for EVs has paved the way for automakers to integrate solar technology into EVs and make use of renewable energy in the transportation business. So some of the companies, EV companies, are paving these electric panels on the roof of the vehicle. The solar powered charging station volume is projected to reach 38,782 units by 2020 and 3,87,542 units by 2030. So here only that is nearly 10 times. Okay, 10 times it is going to increase. The growth can be attributed to the availability of solar energy in subcontinental countries and various initiatives taken by the governmental agencies to promote clean mobility solutions. So solar powered charging stations. Here you can see this 2022 projected in Asia Pacific it's around 55,000. Europe it is 31,000 and North America it is 21,000. So Asia Pacific region is very much easy to implement the solar energy system because of the nature. And in 2030, it comes around to 2.17 lakhs in Asia Pacific, and in Europe it is 1.16 lakhs, and in North America it's around 55. In January 2019, Sona Motors partnered with Bosch to provide Sion Central Control Unit and software-based solution for its intelligent networking. The electric car with solar integration, the first ever to go into series production, is designed with maximum efficiency for the user, offering car, ride, and power share. November 2018, Energy US-based subsidiary Global Solar Energy England inked a cooperation agreement with the TAM Europe Company, a subsidiary of Chinese High-Tech Group Corporation. The two parties collaborated to develop solar car roof system solution and manufacture solar vehicles in future, which rely solely on solar energy. In March 2017, the Japanese version of Toyota Virus Prime was integrated with solar panel over the roof by Panasonic. With this development, Panasonic's new setup is capable of generating up to 180 watts. Toyota claimed that the solar roof could provide the Toyota Virus Prime PHEV with about 6 km of range a day when parked outside. Notably, the panel did not change the shape of the Virus Prime roof, while the contours and drag coefficient also remained the same. Okay, these are the things in India's EV market. These are things in India's EV market. And next is shared and connected mobility. So now it is not required, I think so. It is sharing the vehicles. So it is ride sharing, Uber, and all the. Okay, shared and connected mobility in India. Shared mobility means the sharing the automobile and all, and connected mobility means that is the connecting all the communication units with the car. That is the connected mobility. The ride sharing offers a convenient and cost-effective means of personal mobility. This feature is not only for electric vehicles; it is also for the non-electrical vehicles. Ride sharing offers a convenient and cost-effective means of personal mobility with the help of transportation network system. It helps reduce travel cost and eliminates the need for individual to drive to the location on their own. As more people use a single vehicle, ride sharing results in a lesser number of vehicles on the road and thus reduces the emission and overall impact on the environment. Ride sharing reduces travel expenses as commuters do not need to own a car and bear the expenses related to its maintenance. In addition, ride sharing facility people can choose from multiple options such as car and bike to move from one location to another. Traditional taxi cabs are a conventional example of mobility on demand service. In December 2018, New York City planned to install 50 mobile solar-powered EV charging stations with integrated energy storage. In June, India first solar-powered EV charging station. Okay, sorry. There is a ride hailing and sharing market. And global latest developments in this sector. In development, December 2018, New York City planned to install 50 mobile solar powered EV charging stations with integrated energy storage. In June 18, India's first solar powered EV charging station was installed in Mumbai. In March 2017, the Japanese version of Toyota Prius was integrated with a roof solar panel by Panasonic. With this development, Panasonic's new setup is capable of generating up to 180 watts. In 2017, Nissan partnered with the solar installer to promote solar energy with the new electric vehicle purchases. The company has a strong reputation among solar installers, being the pioneer in EVs integrated with solar plants. Currently, penetrating of shared mobility in India is low. As India is one of the most populous countries in the world, it has an opportunity to redefine personal mobility. The transportation sector in India accounts for 18% of the commercial energy consumption and is highly dependent on oil imports. Moreover, for private vehicle mobility has significant application and land requirement for parking. For instance, in Delhi, parking accounts for 80 to 10% of the available land. The shared mobility concept leads to better fleet utilization. India has the potential to reduce vehicle kilometer demand by nearly 35%, accounting to 2,000 billion kilometers by 2035. Further, when combined with more efficient vehicle technology, it can cumulatively save up to 1 gigaton of CO2 through 2030. The latest entrant in shared mobility space in India is Mahindra with the launch of Glide, a premium app-based taxi service available on select routes in Mumbai. In 2018, Ola launched the project Guardian, a real-time monitoring system to strengthen ride safety of its customer on the platform forward. Launched as a pilot in Bangalore, Mumbai, Pune, the project is a part of Ola National Program on Safety, Street Safe, and is also the first for the ride-sharing industry. In 2018, the company also announced its plans to launch bikes on its platform in Agra. In 18, Ola announced the launch of first of its kind policy research and social innovation unit, Ola Mobility Institute, a specialized think tank that has been set up to develop knowledge frameworks that will focus on the intersection of mobility and public goodwill. The institute will focus on leveraging disruptive potential of the mobility as a growth and innovation engine for India's economy. So overall ecosystem, you can see this mobility service providers. There is Uber and all, Ola and all. OEM, original equipment manufacturer. There is a car manufacturer. Tier 1 suppliers. There is a tier point 5 and tier 1 suppliers. So these are software related and the software related manufacturer, Google and all. The Bosch, which are integrating the software into the hardware, and parts manufacturers and material manufacturers. These are all which are involving in the overall automobile. In India, more than 30% of total population lives in urban areas and contributes more than 60% of total GDP of the country. By 2030, the total population in urban area is estimated to reach nearly 40% of contributing 70% of the total GDP of India. Therefore, there is a need to develop physical, institutional, social, and economic infrastructure of the country. Hence, the government is taking required steps to develop smart cities, which is going to be a key initiative toward the development of smart mobility infrastructure in India. The Indian rides sharing market is projected to grow at a cumulative annual growth rate of 33.86% by value from an estimated USD of 552 million in 2018 to 4,251.7 million by 2022. The e-hailing segment is estimated to be the largest by value. It is projected to reach 3,350 million by 2025 from an estimated 427 million in 2018 at the growth rate of 38%. The car rental segment is estimated to be the second largest and is expected to grow from an estimated 97.8 million in 18 to nearly 500 million by 2025. That is car rental segment with the annual rate of growth rate of 25.84%. And Uber is a leading provider of ride-sharing service. It offers service through mobile application and website. Uber was founded in 2009 and is headquartered in San Francisco, California. According to Uber, it has 75 million riders and 3 million drivers worldwide. It completes 15 million trips each day and completed 4 billion trips worldwide in 2017. Ola is a provider of on-demand ride-hailing service. The company provides cab rental service and allows customers to book a ride through phone, online, or mobile application. Ola was founded in 2011 and is headquartered in Bangalore, India. It is the largest ride-sharing service provider in India. India is amongst the most targeted market for providing ride-sharing service. A connected car. Next one is the connected car market. Connected car market in India. A connected car is defined as a vehicle that can communicate with the external. That is communication connection. Here, a connected car is defined as vehicle that can communicate with the external entities such as traffic stop signal towers, satellite, roadside antennas, pedestrians, other vehicles, and the cloud. The connected car technology helps improve the overall driving experience while simultaneously enhancing vehicle and pedestrian safety. It is now becoming an integral part of modern automobile and being adopted in passenger cars as well as commercial vehicles. The connected car market in India is an nascent stage, that is the initial stage. The whole value chain consists of tagging suppliers of hardware and software, cloud infrastructure providers, cybersecurity players, automobile manufacturers, aftermarket players, fleet business owners, government regulatory bodies, insurance companies, startups and end users. Startups are playing a major role in Indian connected car market. They are emerging with advanced and innovative engineering ideas that can be turning point for the automobile industry. As Indian startups are capable of providing the same connected solution at the optimized cost, OEM have started to invest in emerging companies to make the connected technology suitable for Indian scenario. So it is a connected car technology. So depends upon the software development. It is continuously evolving from 1996 to 2007. The Indian connected car market is estimated to be 1.6 million units in 2019 and projected to grow at a rate of 16% to reach 4.5 million units by 2025. This growth can be attributed to automobile manufacturers who are offering vehicle equipment with connected car service. In 2018, Maruti Suzuki launched the telematics solution called the Suzuki Connect for customers of their premium vehicle models. Suzuki Connect includes features like the emergency alerts, preventive assistance, vehicle tracking, live vehicle status, driving behavior analysis, and convenience alerts. In 2019, Hyundai also launched the Hyundai Blue Link connected car technology for Indian market. The Blue Link technology has been developed in-house and is already in use in global market for the last 10 years. Hyundai has integrated 10 India-specific features for the Indian market, starting with the AI-based voice assist system, which understand the Indian accent and English. Tata Motors and Microsoft partnered to build connected cars for India. The company also showcased Tamo Racemo, India's first connected sports car at the Geneva International Motor Show. The rollout of 4G connectivity and government plans for 100 smart cities are the other major drivers for the growth of connected car market in India. India connected car market dynamics. The main drivers are economic car manufacturer attempting to provide luxury features. So normal economic car is going to have the luxury features. That is one thing. The passenger cars in India has shifted largely from using mechanical components and devices to using technology driven by embedded software. Today, a car is equipped with 80 different computers, along with millions of lines of software codes controlling different functions in the vehicles. The major automobile manufacturers such as Maruti Suzuki, Hyundai, Mahindra, Honda, Tata, Toyota, Renault, Ford, Nissan, Volkswagen have started to implement connected technology either in a embedded or integrated form. These manufacturers have perceived the increase in consumer demand for embedded infotainment system in mid and low-end models. Infotainment systems have become a mandatory part of every model of vehicles. Many OEM have started to provide connected features in infotainment system through offerings such as Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and MirrorLink. According to markets, the markets analysis, total penetration of connected cars in India was approximately 30% as of 2008. The government initiatives for implementing connected car technology. Automobile manufacturers modify their offerings according to the mandate by government regulatory bodies. Various connected services such as vehicle tracker, remote diagnostics, predictive maintenance, and vehicle park navigation are now available in some vehicles. The Indian government has mandated the connected features for public transport vehicles under Automotive Research Association of India standards AIS 140 for equipping intelligent transportation system, which is going to be implemented for passenger cars too in coming years. ITS or the intelligent transport system are a major part of the smart city plan. The government financially supports new research projects and implementation, hoping to build and run smart cities in the future. The major focus of India's smart city initiative is on smart transportation. The infrastructure and support services are accomplished by the smart city initiative shall service the need of connected car market. The opportunities, the emerging profit pool for automotive industry. Today, passenger cars are being developed with the new generation connected technology. The number of connected cars is increasing. The ecosystem of connected cars is emerging, and customers are showing interest in connected service, triggering a significant redistribution of revenue among the players in the value chain. The profit pool of automotive industry is changing with the emerging technologies and customer preference. For instance, the financing field posed the highest average return on sales, followed by aftermarket in 2017. By 2035, the highest average ROS for automotive industry is expected to be generated by data and connectivity, followed by finance. So when EV market is booming, automatically this data and connectivity market is also going to boom, as well as the finance market is also going to boom. Emerging profit pool for the automotive industry. So here you can see this, the data and connectivity is going to increase more than 14% in the forthcoming years. Evaluation of new value chain ecosystem of automotive industry. In the current scenario, many non-automotive companies from various industries such as IT, software, telecom, and cybersecurity are partnering with automobile manufacturers to provide connected service for automobiles. Hence, a vast amount of data will be exchanged, increasing digital service for vehicle in future. The automotive industry will witness a change in the traditional value chain ecosystem and redesign its customer engagement process and after-sales service. The challenges, when we are having the connected car service, there is a threat of data breach, and the cyber security for connected vehicles should be ensured. The rise in car connectivity is exposing vehicle to risk. The products are getting complex with the increased use of ECUs, that is electronic control units, and software with 30 to 40 million lines of code. The fragmented supply chain of OEMs is proving to be a major difficulty in providing cybersecurity and data privacy to the connected vehicles. Thus, the risk of hacks and data theft is high in connected vehicles. Majority of the new cars rolled out by 2020 are expected to be connected to network. Hence, many OEM and security solution providers are taking various countermeasures for cybersecurity threats. However, any security design would not guarantee full security over a period. There must be consistent implementation of updated security codes in the connected vehicles. Accordingly, OEM should minimize the chances of security lags and make software patches more secure. For instance, there were more than 40 million data breaches occurred in India as per 2017 reports. So we have to take care of these data breaches. Increase in price of vehicles with connected service. When we are providing the additional sophisticated service, automatically the cost will be increasing. So the cost of developing connected car is huge, including cost of electronics, software platform, hardware devices, connected gateway, and cellular usage. For instance, the cost of electronics alone has risen to approximately 45 to 50% of total vehicle cost. So here imagine the electronics services which are connected in the car itself having the cost of 40 to 50% of the total vehicle cost. The high cost involved in connected service such as over-the-air updated may also increase the overall cost of the vehicle. The cost incurred will increase the price of the car, which needs to be paid by the end user of the vehicle. But in the long run, it is also to be reduced. Okay. As per research, up to 30% of customers are willing to pay for connected service. As connected cars will have a dynamic ecosystem of the value chain, companies which provides electronics, software platforms, and hardware devices, etc., will want to generate revenue from them, and thus cost optimization of vehicles come to the fore. Many automobile manufacturers have started optimizing the manufacturing cost of the vehicle by managing the cost of interior and exterior parts. For BMW, example, used to provide high quality leather seats in the earlier premium models, but now it is upgraded vehicles of the some models. High quality level seats are optional, for which the customer needs to pay separate. According to market and markets, more than 70% of total vehicles produced in India by 25 will be connected. As India is the fastest growing market in the connected car space in Asia Pacific, automobile manufacturers are trying to grab the highest market share in the country. New advanced technologies and increased connectivity are shaping the end user preference for connected solutions in India. To track down customer preference services in terms of features and preference in terms of form type and they have been considered. So it is a customer preference. So they are going to prefer whatever it is. So the technology should be integrated form or embedded form, or it should be they require the communication entertainment, and that is geolocation features, safety, security, every services. Okay. So based on this, we can prefer the choose the preference of the customer. Realizing first and last mile connectivity through connected and shared mobility. The first means from the home to bus stop, and from the then the bus stop to office. These are the first and last miles. Okay, in between we may have some vehicles. Okay, so this service to be also attached. First mile, it is the first mile, and from here they are going through some public transportation, and from this stop they are going to office through last mile. So this first mile and the last mile should be very less. Like this, we have to provide this public transportation system. An intelligent transportation system is a combination of information and communication technology applied in transportation networks and infrastructure to facilitate vehicle to vehicle, vehicle to infrastructure communication and transfer of information. This helps in enhancing safety, traffic management, and environmental performance of roadways, railways, aviation, and network. The navigation and communication technologies, which are typically used in ITS or global positioning system, dedicated short-range communication, and carrier access for land mobiles. The integration of ITS system across the transport infrastructure is expected to deliver safety benefits. These systems can connect with road users to help address various problems related to public safety. The ITS-based applications such as real-time traffic alerts, collision avoidance system, anti-lock braking system, lane departure assistant, and crash notification system primarily focus on safety. The Japan's SmartWay or US IntelliDrive are designed to help drivers avoid road crashes. The US intelligent drive system could potentially address 82% of vehicle crash scenarios involving unimpaired drivers. The deployment of ITS that provide real-time traffic statistics can help in resolving increasing traffic congestion concerns. The intelligent signal controls gather information from sensors that quantify vehicle speed, traffic signal, preemption alarms, and other traffic-related information. In Istanbul, the implementation of adaptive traffic management system has reduced the travel time by 20%, increased the delay by 30%, and increased the average speed of 30%. Furthermore, the introduction of smart mobility solutions such as autonomous robotaxi in Singapore has improved its traffic scenario up to an extent. The slow infrastructural growth due to space and cost constraints is a major hindrance for ideas to gain traction. Ideas are chiefly employed in developed countries such as the US, UK, Japan, and to manage traffic effectively. These countries have efficient transport service and infrastructure. However, these ideas are also implemented in developing countries such as India and South Korea, albeit slowly as it involves various innovation and adaptation to suit the roadways. So it is the growth rate of intelligent transportation system. Effective traffic management and safety. Traffic management is an application of smart transportation solution and involves planning, monitoring, and controlling traffic. It aims to enhance the effectiveness of existing legacy infrastructure, ensure the safety of transportation operation, and smoothen the flow of traffic with the help of various traffic modeling and management systems. Traffic management is the process of prioritizing, shaping, and routing traffic to ensure that critical transport service remains available. Traffic management provides guidance to the commuter. That is where all these parameters are coming in. These are coming under this connected car service. Okay. So traffic management provides guidance to the commuter and tell us about the road congestion and suggests the best possible routes. This involves the use of ICT to control and manage the flow of road traffic, intersection control, and ramp metering, enforce speed limits, detect incidents and emergencies, and implement response strategies to ensure safe and efficient use of road network by optimizing the existing infrastructure. The Government of India has progressively committed significant investment in traffic management sector. The Ministry of Transport plans to invest further 30% of 1 trillion USD earmarked for development of transport infrastructure under the country 12th five-year plan. 423 USD, 423 million USD IPS is being developed to improve the traffic management and control system on Hong Kong's nationwide road network. Saudi Arabia invested 140 billion in smart transportation systems with a major focus on urban traffic management. So here the traffic management area is going to improve from $26 billion to 50 billion. That is, it is going to double within 5 years. And future mobility trends. That is future mobility. That is what about the future mobility? That is everything will be converted into electric vehicles. After that, this will be converted into robot taxi. That is the future mobility trends. A robot taxi combines the benefit of an autonomous vehicle and e-cab hailing services by operating without a driver and focusing on mobility as a service. Right? It is expected to reduce the cost of ownership and improve fleet management. It would offer a safe, convenient, and economical mode of transportation. OEMs have partnered with the autonomous driving system providers and fleet managers to launch robotaxi services. Since most developments can be seen in this field of electric vehicles, the robotaxi market may initially feature electrically propelled vehicles. The robotaxi market is likely to witness a significant increase in demand with the recent technological advancement in electric vehicles and autonomous driving systems. Shared mobility is also a key driver for the robotaxi market. People are comfortable sharing rides, creating a good opportunity for companies such as Uber, Didi, and Lyft to find a new sustainable source of revenue. In addition, several OEMs are interested in the robotaxi market, not just as a vehicle manufacturer, but also as a mobility platform providers. Active and Lyft are sharing the leverage fully integrated autonomous driving platform and network to share the profit. General Motors Cruise Automation has partnered with DoorDash on a food delivery services using self-driving cars in San Francisco. So the robot taxi market is going to boom in the rate of 112% per that is 112% per year. That is around 2030. This is going to reach around nearly 40 lakhs units. 40 lakhs. And another type of future mobility is the Hyperloop. The Hyperloop is even in the Hyperloop, the electric vehicle is all going to be used. Okay, so Hyperloop is the fifth mode of passenger and freight transportation after air, water, rail, and proposed by Elon Musk. It will drive a pod-like vehicle into a vacuum tube, enabling it to accelerate to the speed of aircraft using linear electric motors and magnetic levitation. The system is designed to run at over 750 miles per hour, that is greater than the speed of airlines for the price of bus ticket. The Hyperloop system is expected to be operational by 2022 and will available on demand. The most significant factor driving market for Hyperloop technology is the increasing application of technology in the transportation industry. The implementation of Hyperloop technology has the potential to revolutionize the transportation, prevent travel delays, and improve the overall travel experience with the more efficient and flexible mode of transport. The reduction in travel time and cost with the use of Hyperloop transportation technology is a major driving factor for the growth of this model. Less land area requirement and resistance to the earthquakes are the key drivers for the adoption of Hyperloop technology. The increasing need for decongestion of cities and energy efficient transportation are the major opportunities for this market. Lack of government support, relatively low response from capital investors, and possibility of passenger emergency due to power outage are the major challenges for this market. Okay. So these are the things which are involving in the future trends in the Indian mobility service. So which we are considering majorly considering the EV market. Okay. And that is we have to, that is now only the India is continuously developing electric vehicle policies and electric vehicle policies. Okay, so that there is a need to understand what are the it is only the crisp presentation on electric vehicle policies in India. Okay, review of state electric vehicle plans across India. So these are things you have to know. So it is taken from this. That is ET Energy World September 19, 2020 paper. Okay. So a transition to cleaner electric mobility is a sustainable solution to fighting air pollution. So the mainly why all the governments are trying to move into electric vehicles is to prevent the air pollution, right? Fighting against air pollution. That is a major reason why all the governments all over the world are moving towards electric vehicles. Okay. Over 10 states in India, over 10 states have been committing to electric vehicles policy. That is you imagine in India only 10 states, okay, to reduce air pollution from the transport sector, which contributes significantly to deadly air pollution in India. Nearly two-thirds of deaths from ambient air pollution can be attributed to diesel vehicle exhaust emissions in India. While the national government's programs send a signal for cleaner transportation policies, adaptation is falling far short of this target. It is up to the states to implement, strengthen, and tailor plans to grow local EV markets. That is, they can attract the vehicle manufacturers and they can attract the customers to use electric vehicles like this. It is on the hand of the states. Over 10 states in India have final or draft EV policies that support the National Electric Mobility Policy. The states, when approved EV policies, include Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, New Delhi, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Uttarakhand, and Uttar Pradesh. Only these are the states which are having the approved EV policies. And draft policies are done by Bihar, Gujarat, Himachal Pradesh, and Punjab. Okay, so the rest of the states are still they are developing the policies. Okay, we will see some of the features of these policies in these states. Nearly all the states' EV policies prioritize two and three wheelers public transportation and job creation. However, the policies are different in terms of target supply side incentives and demand side incentives. Okay. So let us consider the Andhra Pradesh EV policies. That is, we are going to just see the futures of EV policies of each state. That's all. Okay. So here, this Andhra Pradesh EV policies have the aims to have 10 lakhs. That is 10 lakhs. Okay, 10 lakhs EVs on road by 2024. They want to bring 10 lakh electric vehicles on road by 2024. Complete reimbursement of road tax and registration fees on sales of EVs until 2024. So now they are going to reimburse the road tax and registration fees. Okay, it is a thing which they are encouraging the people to buy EVs. Replace public transport buses in 4 cities to e-buses. That is, they are choosing 4 major cities in Andhra Pradesh, and they are going to replace all the buses by e-buses by 2024 across the state by 2030. That is, major cities by 24 and all over the state by 2030. And they are establishing 1 lakh slow and fast charging stations. That is, they are going to develop the charging infrastructure all over Andhra Pradesh. That is around 1 lakh slow and fast charging station by 2024. So when they are developing the charging infrastructure, then only the sales of electric vehicles on this state will be increasing. Okay. So, and they are going to announce, that is, celebrate green days to create awareness among public. And Bihar. So here you can see this drafted June 2019. Still, it is they are waiting for approval. The Andhra Pradesh is approved in June 2018. Prioritize electrification of rickshaws and plans to convert all pedal rickshaws to e-rickshaws by 2022. So in Bihar, they are planning to change all pedal rickshaws to e-rickshaws by 2022. Imagine, by changing this pedal rickshaw to e-rickshaw, it is not going to reduce the pollution. What is and provide subsidies of 12,000 to end user. That is 12,000 rupees to the end user, and an additional special incentive of 10,000 will be provided for lithium-ion battery e-rickshaw. Promotes the manufacture of e-rickshaws. Set up fast charging station at the intervals of 50 kilometers on state and national highways, and charging station at commercial and residential locations. Next, Gujarat. It is drafted in 2019. Still, they are waiting for approval. Aims to have 1 lakh EVs on the road by 2022, which includes 8,000 two-wheelers or scooters, 14,000 three-wheelers, and 4,500 cars and 1,500 buses. 100% exemption for registration fees, 100% exemption for registration fees, and 50% for motor vehicle tax, and 100% exemption for electricity duty for EV charging station. Provide additional state level subsidy to supplement the national level FAME 2 scheme. State policy to match the number of charging stations allocated by Department of Heavy Industries, as well as the subsidy provided under FAME 2. Karnataka EV policy, it is approved in September 2017. So in India, it is the first state to get approval of this EV policy in 2017 itself. I think so. Aim to achieve 100% e-mobility in auto rickshaws, cab aggregators, corporate fleets, and school buses vans by 2030. Local public transport bus fleets will introduce 1,000 EV buses, providing incentives such as interest-free loans on the net state goods and service tax (GST) for EV manufacturing enterprises. Focus on venture capital fund for e-mobility startups and the creation of a secondary market for batteries. Set up 112 EV charging station in Bangalore. Kerala EV policy, it is approved in 2019. Aims to put 1 million EV units on the road by 2022 and 6,000 e-buses in public transport by 2025. Incentives such as state tax breaks, road tax exemptions, toll charge exemption, free permit for fleet drivers, and free parking. Liability gap funding for e-buses and government fleets. Prioritize EV component manufacturing. Create e-mobility demonstration hub in a few potential areas such as tourist villages, technology hubs, and major cities, central business districts. Madhya Pradesh. It is approved in October 2019. Rapid EV adaptation and contribution to 28% of all new public transport vehicle registration by 2026. Shared e-rickshaws and electric auto rickshaws incentives. Free cost of permits. Exempt reimbursement from road tax, vehicle registration fees for 5 years. 100% waiver on parking charges at any municipal corporation and parking facility for 5 years. Some cities will stop registering new internal combustion engines autos. ensure a safe, reliable, and affordable charging infrastructure, and promote renewable energy usage in charging infrastructure. Maharashtra, it is approved in February 2018. Increase the number of registered EVs to 5 lakh over the policy period, generate an investment of 25,000 rupees crores in EV and component manufacturer and create jobs for 1 lakh people. Extend EV from road tax and registration fees over 5 years policy period. Enable fuel station to set up charging points through governing regulation. Support for charging infrastructure by planning authorities and electricity supply agencies. Incentives for micro, small, and medium enterprises and large manufacturing units. Modifies building property rules to help establish a robust public charging infrastructure industry. Seeks that EV, that is in New Delhi, seeks that EV account for 25% of total new electric vehicles registration in the city by 2024. Aims to have at least 50% buses for all new stage carriage buses procured for the city fleet, starting with 1,000 e-buses by 2020. The purchase incentives of 10,000 per kilowatt hour of battery capacity provided for electric four-wheelers, subject to maximum incentive of 1.5 lakhs. For the first 1,000 e-cars registered in New Delhi after issuance of the new policy. The purchase incentives of 5,000 per kilowatt of battery capacity provided for two-wheelers and subject to maximum incentive of 30,000 rupees per week. The incentives for scrapping and de-registering old highly polluting two-wheelers. Purchase incentives of 30,000 rupees per vehicle to owners of e-autos, e-rickshaws and e-cars. Punjab EV policy drafted in 2019 November, waiting for approval. Aim to have 25% of annual vehicle registration as EVs in the last year of 5-year policy period. Aims to increase the share of electric two-wheelers to reach 25% of new sales over the policy period. Replace 25% of bus fleets of transport department with the e-buses. Aims to increase the share of e-taxis to reach 25% of new sales over the policy duration period. Private EVs will be given 100% waivers on motor vehicle tax for a period of 5 years, while commercial vehicles will be exempted from registration as well as permit fee for the same. Tamil Nadu electricity policy, it is approved in September 2019. Electrify 5% of buses every year by 2030 and substantially convert shared mobility fleets, institutional vehicles and e-commerce delivery and logistic vehicles to EVs by 2030. Convert all auto rickshaws in 6 major cities to electric vehicles within a span of 10 years. Establish a venture capital and business innovation service to encourage EV startups. Reskilling allowance for employees working with EV manufacturing units. EV related and charging infrastructure manufacturing units will receive 100% exemption on electricity tax through 2025. Telangana EV policy, cabinet approval on August 2020. Aims to have EV sales target for 2025 to achieve 80% two and three-wheelers, 70% commercial cars, 40% buses, 30% private cars, 15% electrification of all vehicles. Create jobs for 20,000 workers by 2025 through EVs in shared mobility, charging infrastructure development, and EV manufacturing activities. Attracting investments worth 3 billion and support for charging infrastructure deployment. Uttarakhand EV policy approved in October 2018. Aims for 100% electrification of public transport, including e-buses, shared mobility, including e-bikes, e-taxis, and goods transporting using electric 2, 3, and 4-wheelers and other mini goods transport vehicles in 5 priority cities by 2030. Exempts the first 1 lakh EV buyers from motor vehicle tax for 5 years. Fiscal incentives on EV protection fund includes employee provident fund reimbursement. Manufacturing focused policy and incentives the manufacturing of lithium batteries with high mileage. Uttar Pradesh, approved in August 2019, roll out nearly 10 lakhs EVs combined across all segments of vehicles by 2024. launch 1,000 electric buses and achieve 70% EV public transportation on identified green routes in identified 10 EV cities by 2030. Phase out all conventional commercial fleets and logistics vehicles and achieve 50% EV mobility in goods transportation in identified 10 EV cities by 2024 and all cities by 2030. Establish single window system in place for all approvals required for EV and battery manufacturing. Encourage new apartments, high-rise buildings, and technology parks to make provision for EV charging infrastructure. Aims to be a research and development hub for EVs by focusing on the next generation of battery management system from production to disposal. Work with universities and colleges to promote more research and development in e-mobility. Okay, I think you understand what are the status of electrical vehicles nowadays and what are things are going to happen in the future. So now you are understanding the status of these EV vehicles present now. Okay, and what is going to be happen in the future. So if you understand all these things, you can guide yourself as well as your students to do what are things required in the field of electric vehicles. In the electric vehicle technology, that is like battery side and charging station and handling, recycling batteries and developing control units for electric motors and what are the opportunities available in this and what are the research areas that are in this technology you can understand and you may guide your students for this one. Okay, so these are things I want to convey you. I think it may I have some give some at least 1% information, unknown information to you regarding this electric vehicle policy. Okay. Yeah, thank you all of you for attending this session. I would like to thank our management and department and Diva Madam for providing the opportunity to me to present this. Thank you. John sir.
So thank you, Dharma Prakash sir. Give a
Thank
very
you.
detailed explanation about future trends in Indian mobility. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So participants, real participants, kindly fill the feedback form